Best way to limit incoming messages to avoid duplicates. I have a system that accepts messages that contain URLs. If certain keywords are in the messages, an API call is made with the URL as a parameter, in order to conserve processing and keep my end presentation efficient. I don't want duplicate URLs being submitted within a certain time range. So if this URL comes in and it's submitted to the API. And then 3 seconds later the same URL comes in, I don't want it submitted to the API. What programming method might I deploy to eliminate/limit duplicate messages from being submitted to the API based on time? Update using Tim Peters' method. This snippet is inside a long-running process that is accepting streaming messages via TCP. Every time I pass the same URL in, L returns true every time. But when I try it in the interpreter, everything is good. It returns false when the set time hasn't expired. Does it have to do with the fact that the script is running while the set is being added to? Instance issues?
Maybe overkill, but I like creating a new class for this kind of thing. You never know when requirements will get fancier. Smile, for example. As written, it checks for expirations whenever an attempt is made to add a new thing. Maybe that's not what you want, but it should be a cheap check since the deck holds items in order of addition, so gets out at once if no items are expiring. Lots of possibilities. Why a deck? Because deck.popleft is a lot faster than list.pop0 when the number of items becomes non-trivial.
Suppose your desired interval is 1 hour, keep 2 counters that increment every hour but they are offset 30 minutes from each other. i.e., counter A goes 1, 2, 3, 4 at 11 column 17, 12 column 17, 13 column 17, 14 column 17 and counter B goes 1, 2, 3, 4 at 11 column 47, 12 column 47, 13 column 47, 14 column 47. Now if a link comes in and has either of the 2 counters same as an earlier link, then consider it to be duplicate. The benefit of this scheme over explicit timestamps is that you can hash the URL plus counter A and URL plus counter to quickly check whether the URL exists. Update. You need 2 data stores. 1. A regular database table slow with columns, URL counter A, counter, and 2. A chunk of n bits of memory, fast. Given a URL so.com, counter A 17 and counter 18, first hash 17. So.com into a range 0 to n, 1 and see if the bit at that address is turned on. Similarly, hash 18, so.com and see if the bit is turned on. If the bit is not turned on in either case, you are sure it is a fresh URL within an hour, so we are done, quickly. If the bit is turned on in either case, then look up the URL in the database table to check if it was that URL indeed or some other URL that hashed to the same bit. Further update, Bloom filters are an extension of this scheme.
I'd recommend keeping an in-memory cache of the most recently used URLs. Something like a dictionary. And then for each URL,